Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's question of the week. This week, a listener asked, "What does it mean to love thy name?" Referring to Psalms 5:11. Let them also that love thy name be joyful in thee. I think Chris does an excellent job explaining the meaning of this passage, and enjoy the discussion.
Welcome to our open forum program. Please go ahead with your call.
Okay, Psalm 5, verse 11.
Okay, Psalm 5 and verse 11. But let all those that put their trust in thee rejoice. Let them ever shout for joy because thou defendest them. Let them also that love thy name be joyful in thee.
I was just wondering, what is the last line means? Let them all that love thy name be joyful in thee. What does it mean to love thy name?
Well, it's referring to God. Let all those that put their trust in thee rejoice. And of course, the reference to thee would be God. Let them ever shout for joy because thou defendest them. And this word defendest is most often translated as covered, such as Psalm 91:4. He will cover them with his feathers, which is interesting. That reference in Luke 19, how often I would have gathered thee as a chick does gather her hens with her wings. God would have to Israel of old, who were his outward representatives, he would have to the Christians of the New Testament period, again, his outward representatives, but ye would not. Ye would not. They were not of a proper heart. They were still in their sins. And then the last part, let them also that love thy name be joyful in thee. And, God's name, blessed be the name of the Lord. Well, what exactly is his name? Because he gives himself many names in the Bible. He is Jehovah. He is Adonai. He is the Logos or the Debar. He is faith. He just numerous names, because God, as Mr. Camping used to say, doesn't need a name for identification purposes like we do. We need a name to distinguish us from others. Well, God doesn't need that. So God will reveal his name, and always we learn about him through the name. He's faithful and true. And those are attributes that teach us about his person, his being. Now, when it's just generic, there's no name mentioned. Let them that love thy name be joyful in thee. It has to do with everything that God is. It's all he is. We love the name of God. We love his word, the Bible. We love all of his attributes. In other words, there's nothing that God reveals in the Bible or about himself that we do not love, because we love him. And we love him only because he first loved us. Our love is a responsive love. It's a reaction to what he has done. He initialized it, and we are finally moved to respond in our life. Even in that, even in our response, God's fully involved. He's within us, willing us to will and to do of his good pleasure. Or he gives us a new heart. Now will cause you to walk in my statutes. And so love really is an action word. Jesus said, if you love me, keep my commandments. Oh, Lord, I love you. Praise the Lord. So easy, so quick to mouth the words. So, it just flows right off their tongue. They speak a good game, as the expression goes. And yet when they hear the truth of the Bible, the church age is over, depart out. No way. Or, whatever doctrine, the doctrine of election. You can't accept Christ. You can't accept Christ, get yourself saved. That's an impossibility. Absolutely not. I won't listen. I won't listen. Well, I thought you loved the Lord. And to love him, keep his commandments. These are his commandments. Sunday's the Sabbath. It's his holy day. Remove thy foot from my holy day and from doing thine own will or thine own pleasure. And people trample it underfoot, but they love the Lord. Or God says, what he has joined together, let not man put asunder. And then they go and they divorce and remarry, but they love the Lord. And, point after point after point of doctrine is the real test of love. And for our time, from John 21, feed my sheep, feed my sheep. People hear that. They argue with God. They dispute about it. They are inactive towards it, but they love the Lord. And this is, the primary test for this period of time. That's why the Lord highlighted it the way he did in John 21 after the great catch of fish, which was a picture of the great multitude already being saved. Great tribulation closed because great multitude came out of great tribulation. So they're all safe and secure. The day of salvation is completed. Feed my sheep, feed my sheep, 3 times. It's really, 3 stanzas, the back and forth, back and forth. Lovest thou me, Peter? Yea, Lord, thou knowest I love thee. Feed my sheep. So 3 in that one stanza. Then a second time, lovest thou me, Peter? Thou knowest I love thee. Feed my sheep. And a third time. So it's really tripling the emphasis on the number 3. And the number 3 in the Bible identifies with purpose. God's purpose for Judgment Day for his people. Feed the sheep. And so, it's never really worked. It's never fooled God when people, they try to give an appearance of being godly, an appearance with their words. And God points that out in Matthew 15. I'll just take a look at that, where he says in Matthew 15, in verse 8, I'll start in verse 7. Ye hypocrites, well did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying, this people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. In vain they worship him. And it's the case all throughout time with those that have professed, and even there, I'm a Christian. It's a profession. It's from the mouth, it's coming through the lips. And what's the condition of the heart? The condition of the heart is the most important thing. And that's why Jesus said, ye must be born again. There's no exceptions. There's no way around it. Nothing outward, external will ever replace a new heart or be a substitute for a new heart in God's sight. He looks upon the heart, and that's a rare thing in this world, to be one who has received a new heart. He's only given it to few.